Hello everyone, in this video we are going to be having a look at if statements. So an if statement is a conditional statement that controls the flow of the program, or maybe not the flow, but it executes a certain block of code if a condition is true. So the simplest example that I can give you is like if you actually I'm gonna give you the background or a more practical example, and we're gonna code a simpler example. Alright, so actually we'll code both. Now in practice, what an if statement is that like anywhere you'd use it, you'd see like if you press a certain button on some computer, then it should do something. Alright, that's more practical. So if I press a P, alright, it's not gonna show me W, it's not gonna show me A, B or C or 1, 2, 3, it's gonna show me P. So that's what you can say. You can understand that as an if statement. Alright, so we are going to be coding an if statement in C++. Now the syntax for an if statement in C++ is something like this. You have if, and then you have open brackets, alright, and then you have the block of code that you want to execute. Alright, so I'm just going to have a simple example. Alright, I'm going to see out first. I'm going to say I'm going to show you this is line 1. Okay, so this will be our first line that's going to be executed, and just after the if statement just put a semicolon. Alright, and then this is going to be see out, this is the last line. Alright, and then inside of this I'm going to see out, this is in the if statement. Alright, so I want to say that I have an integer value called, I have a variable called x and I assign it a value of 3, and I have another variable called y and I assign it a value of 3 as well. Alright, now just have a look here. In this if statement, alright, this bracket, these two parentheses, they contain a condition. Now I'm going to put a condition in here called x. Basically I'm going to evaluate if x plus y is going to give me 6. So let's just say x plus y will be equal to 6. Alright, but here's the thing, in programming languages this single equal to sign is actually an assignment operator. See, we are assigning 3 to x and we are assigning 3 to y, so this is an assignment operator. But if we want to check for equality, alright, whether things are equal, then we use a double equal to sign. Okay, so this is the correct way of writing a condition. So if x plus y is true, then say this is in the if statement, meaning it's true. Alright, so I'm just gonna read this. I'm gonna say yes, x plus y is 6. Alright, I'm just going to see that. So let me run this code and I'm going to show you if it works. Include iOS stream. Alright, give it a moment. Alright, it's an issue. I forgot to put an end L. Okay, it's just gonna help us see better, that's the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on separate lines, that's what it's gonna do. Okay, so here we are. If I can zoom in, this is the first, this is line 1. So if we look there, okay, it went ahead, it assigned x and y, then it went and see outed, it printed for us this is line 1. Alright, that's just the normal flow of the program. Then it went into the if statement and it checked if x plus y is actually 6, then it's gonna execute yes, x plus y is 6, which is there. And then we have the program jump out of the if statement called into the normal flow of the program, and it's called it's going to execute, sorry, this line of code called this is the last line, and you can see that's done. Now if I were to make this x plus y is equal to 7, okay, and then I run the code, then what you'll realize, you'll see that it doesn't print out this line within the if statement called yes x plus y is 6. It just prints out the first line which is out of the if statement and the other line which is also out of the if statement. So that's simply what an if statement is. Alright, but we're not done yet, because there's in C++ and as you know, also in many other programming languages, is that this condition right here, alright, you can it only executes, by the way, okay, it executes when the value in the parentheses is a truthy value, something called truthy value. Alright, if you're coming from JavaScript, you'll understand what this means. Alright, so basically a truthy value is any value that is not a 0, it is not a null value, okay, or it's not a false value, false, in C++, okay, yeah, it's not a false value, it's not a 0 value, it's not a none. I don't know if C++ has none. Alright, but all these type of values like null, none, stuff like that, and empty, right? If you have some empty value like you didn't initialize the x, then if you can put x in there and let's see if it runs, if it considers it, okay, it actually does. X plus y is okay, so that works. But let me just see out x and check what it gives us. Okay, it is 1. Okay, we see, so x is 1, it initialized it automatically. However, if I were to say this is a 0, then it's not gonna run. So you can see it doesn't run the code inside there. Basically, if I put this as 0, alright, if I make this a 0, then you'll see that this condition wouldn't run. Or if I just print hello world there and I run it, alright, then if it's 0, then it's not gonna execute. If this was a false, then it wouldn't run either. Oh yeah, syntax error. Alright, if false, then it doesn't run either. So that's the thing. This has to be true, or this has to be a number that is other than 1. So you can see it does work. If I put a negative 11 in there and then I make it run, then you see that it still does work, because it's not a 0. 0 is treated as like something, you know, like a false. So that's what it is, and that's just for if statements. Now next we're going to be looking at other statements like else and else if.